Breaking news, this is
Andrea Hintz
and Sarah Mazurek from Channel 3 coming to you with the inside story. June 3rd, the U.S. island in the Pacific, Midway, was attacked by the Japanese.
The Japanese were attacking many countries, including America, Britain, and the Dutch colonies. They took control of the Philippines, Malaya, Dutch East Indies, Hong Kong, Wake Island, Guam, and Burma. Their military, navy, and sneak attacks kept them winning battle after battle at an unstoppable pace.
Midway Island was a tiny coral atoll that lies about 1,200 miles west of Hawaii. The American Navy had occupied this island for over 40 years.
The commander of the Japanese, Admiral Yamamoto, knew that the United States Navy was strong, therefore being a threat to the Japanese. He wanted to attack the U.S. before the U.S. attacked the Japanese. Yamamoto also wanted to eliminate America's aircraft carrier forces. He saw the Midway base as a very important part of Hawaii. If the Japanese could take out the base, they would take out the whole United States Pacific Fleet. In addition, if Midway was captured, it could be used as a stepping stone to invade Hawaii. Once he had captured Midway, he planned to build an air base on it. The Japanese hoped to bring the U.S. down.
Joe Rockefort and a team of U.S. Navy codebreakers cracked complicated Japanese military messages. From these messages, they figured out Japan's plan to ambush them at Midway. This gave the United States the upper hand to prepare and catch the Japanese off guard.
Since the Japanese had been winning battle after battle, they assumed they would win again. They had already defeated the United States in Pearl Harbor, so they did not anticipate that the Americans would catch them off guard.
The Japanese carriers launched planes and raided American bases on the Aleutian Islands, which are by Alaska. This tactic was supposed to lure American carriers away from Midway so that the Japanese could easily attack and capture Midway. Fortunately, because the Japanese messages were broken, Americans were prepared for this to happen. The U.S. commander, Chester W. Nimitz, made sure there was enough carriers to protect Midway.
The Japanese fleet approached the island. They were detected by American patrol planes. Nimitz set up an ambush by having carriers ready when the Japanese arrived. U.S. bombers set off from Midway to try to attack the Japanese planes called Zeros, but they did not have any success. Zeros shot down 2/3 of American planes, or 17 of 26 fighters, in an attempt to take down the Japanese carriers.
4th was the critical day of the battle.
In the morning, Japanese bombers attacked Midway. The bombers hit oil tanks on the island's airbase, but they did very little damage to Midway's air facilities.
Carrier commanders were unaware of the presence of American carriers, so they failed to protect themselves properly. This allowed Americans to gain on the Japanese. The commanders also gave many contradictory commands so the crew didn't know what to do. In all of the confusion, live bombs and explosives were left on the decks of the carriers.
Once an American carrier left and was around Midway, a Japanese scout plane saw the carrier. Instead of attacking, Yamamoto decided to wait and rearm his carriers. However, that was a mistake. Because of all the previous battles Japan had taken a part in, it was short on aircraft carriers while Americans had plenty. By waiting to rearm his carriers, Yamamoto wasted valuable time that allowed for more American planes to come.
The Japanese sent land-based bombers and torpedo planes to fight 14 American carriers, and they continued to fight for a while. 10 out of the 14 planes were shot down. The Japanese grew overconfident and kept all of their fighters at a low altitude. They were unprepared when a second American attack came from above. U.S. dive bombers attacked the Zeros and were unable to climb fast enough to intercept the bombers. Because the carriers' decks were already cluttered with bombs and torpedoes, the initial explosions caused secondary explosions to occur. Within 5 minutes, 3 Japanese carriers were damaged.
The battle finally ended June 7th. Overall, 4 Japanese aircraft carriers that had attacked Pearl Harbor were sunk along with 250 aircrafts on board. In addition, they lost over 100 trained pilots, which could not be replaced, weakening the Japanese even more. Americans only suffered a loss of one aircraft carrier in this battle.
Battle of Midway could be the turning point of the war in the Pacific, because Japan was forced to be on the defensive end of the war. Americans had beat Japan and stopped its endless advances by permanently damaging the Japanese Navy. In turn, Americans went to the offensive side of the war. Have a great day, America, and keep on fighting. Here are some live images from the battle.
Here's some footage of the Battle of Midway.